Welcome to Alcohol Inc. Art TV. That's what we're going to call this, I think. You know, I dabbled with other ideas, but this is how it all started. And without getting into all the gory details, I'm trying to get back to where I started, because that's when things were working. But because of a lot of gory things got a bit crazy, a bit out of control. But now I know why. I know why, and now I'm determined. Now more than ever before. Now more than ever before, I'm determined to bring to you what I started. And I'm going to be so good that you won't be able to ignore me. I'm going to be so often and so constant and so real, raw, and honest that you're going to want what I have. And that's exactly why they've been trying to stop me. But they're so funny, because if they really understood the power that I have behind me and in front of me and all around me, like if they truly understood who they were dealing with, it would have been in their best interest to just let me do what I came to do. But no. They had to put on their cape and act like they're bigger and better than what they are. Act like they're more powerful than me. Oh, the narcissist can be so naive, so grandiose, and so audacious about themselves, hey? That's the facade. The facade is that they are someone awesome, someone that has it together, someone that knows what they're doing. But these people are just con artists, fake, empty vessels. And whatever it is that they're portraying to be, it's because they've copied it. They're fake, it's facade, it's someone else. It's someone else they've mimicked, they've hijacked. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's who you are that they've hijacked, because that's what the narcissist does. They hijack your mind. They steal your good ideas. They steal your juice. The narcissist steals your juice. He steals your life force. He sucks you dry through this process called enmeshment. It's like this grooming of your mind through voice manipulation, hand to skull technology. The cell phone is killing so many beautiful human beings, and they don't even realize it. Cognitive dissonance is a real bliss, isn't it? Yes, it is. I love being ignorant to what's going on around me and inside of me. And anyway, I digress. Get off on a little tangent now and then. So just be patient with me, okay? This series that we're reactivating, redoing, we started it a few years ago. We're bringing it out bigger and better than it ever was going to be. So blessings in disguise. Sometimes our setbacks are opportunity to realign. Remember that. Rejection is God's protection. So yeah, we're bringing back who I was becoming before all the stuff happened. All the death, so much death. There's been so much death. And I thought, you know, death was the end, but it's like just the beginning. Like once you die once, it's like you just can't stop dying. Every day is like a death, and it's so hard to be in this human experience when you're constantly dying. But what makes it even harder to be alive while you're dying is when you're being eaten alive by the narcissist. This parasitic energy that has infected societies across the globe. But the best part about dying every day is that you never really get complacent to the way things are, which gives you the opportunity to constantly be expanding and evolving and healing and growing. A lot of people are not dying. They're just trying to hold on to their small world, their small lives, and keep their narrow minds and their grief. They want to stay trapped in their victim mentalities because it's easier that way. It's easier to be a slave and bend over and allow the overlords to tell you who you are and how you should live your life. So most people just don't truly value their life. But I think it's all by design. It's all by design, right? We're kind of forced into this way of life, forced into going to school. And it's like school is the root cause of why humanity is so fucked up. School is a prison sentence. Before you even have developed a sense of self, it's like they just get in there at the prime age and take your innocence away. And this is how they are taking the love out of humanity, by killing the innocence through school, aka indoctrination camp. But it's not just school, right? It's like religion and medicine and cartoons, media, brainwashing. It's like the reason why there's so many narcissists in this world is because the system is built on a narcissistic mindset, a narcissistic quality, constantly looking to drain your life force, to get you to be a weak person, to be someone who is cognitive dissonant to the abuse. We get so used to being abused that we don't recognize it. And because there is so much trauma bonding going on in the human collective, the trauma bond is so strong. We just have so many people who are growing up feeling so discombobulated, so emotionally dysregulated, so unloved, so not taken care of. And we can blame parents, but is it really the parents' fault? Because parents are just doing what they know, and so is it their parents' fault? You could say the same thing. The parents were just doing what their parents taught them, and it's like, when does it end? It's like we keep blaming the parents, but it's really the system. So we have to blame ourselves because we're all part of the system. So what are we doing to break this cycle of abuse? What are we doing to take off the noose, the narcissism, the anxiety, the depression, the codependency, the people-pleasing, the bipolars, the cluster Bs, the inconsistencies, the reclusion, the isolation, the avoidant personalities? Like, see, all of these qualities or personality disorders or personality traits, if you will, because that's essentially what we're talking about. Personality disorder is the perspective that your personality isn't normal, so you're dysfunctional, and then we have all these prescriptions and all these diagnoses that we can use to qualify where you are on the spectrum of personality disease or disorders. Really what we're talking about is just people's different ways of expressing trauma and grief and this lack of love energy, the lack of true love frequency. People are misaligned in their mind and in their heart, and there's nowhere to go to heal it, to fix it, to get help, to do the work. There's nowhere to go. So this is why the root of the problem that is infecting societies across the globe is grief. And grief needs work. Grief needs consoling. Is that the word? Consoling. Grief needs comfort. You need to be soothed. You need to learn about love, because grief is this illusion that love is lost. Love left. Love died. Love doesn't love me. I'm not safe. I'm not supported. I'm not worthy. That's how we interpret it. The inner child interprets it that way. So we grow up in these environments that are very tumultuous, very traumatic from our small child mind point of view. And that's how we're growing up, with this perspective. So the older we get, the deeper that perspective gets. And that perspective stays with you. So we grow up not feeling loved because of stuff that happened when we were babies and children and adolescents and teenagers. And we go through these cycles of growth, but it's in our really formative years that we develop these core senses of self, this core self. So if you're growing up in an environment where you don't feel loved and it's not safe and you're not supported, it can create traumas that stick with you. This imprinting shapes your personality traits, your personality disorder. So if you grew up disordered, if you grew up in a very dysfunctional environment, then chances are you have a personality disorder in some way.